Time for another look at something from China. This one was brought to us from GearBest. Now, we've actually featured this machine on the channel before. This is the X8. But apparently this is the new improved X8. Now, the original X8 wasn't that good, so let's see if this new improved version is any better. Okay, as usual, we'll take a look at the box. Nothing too interesting there, but at least it's in English, or English. Okay, let's see what we get inside the box. Bit of a tricky one to open this, it's kind of stiff. Here we go, okay. Alright, what do we have in here? Okay, well, we've got some paperwork. Okay, well, apparently this machine is known as the MP5, not the X8. Okay, and that paper kind of looks a bit yellowed. Yeah, alright, we'll take a look at that later on. We've got the actual console, which is sandwiched between these bits of cardboard. Oh, very professional. Can you see that? It's the inside of another box. Bloody hell. A keyboard box. Oh, wow. Yeah, nothing like professionalism, is there? Okay, so there's the console itself. Oh, my mistake. This is the X6, not the X8. My mistake. Okay, what else do we have in the box? Got a bit of plastic. Okay, we have a USB mini to standard USB charging cable. You can also use this to transfer data onto the machine, and a very cheap pair of earphones. Well, at least they've got some sort of metal mesh on them instead of plastic. But yeah, I can't see those being too good. Okay, let's just take a quick look at this user's manual, which seems to be yellowed. Alright, so this was probably printed a long time ago. Alright, so I'm not going to read through it, but if you want to check out the instructions, you can take a look by pausing the video. I can tell you one thing, that this did not come with a CD disc or an AV out cable or a charging cable either, so yeah, these instructions are definitely not for this machine. Okay, well, anyway, that's enough of that. So let's take a look at the machine itself. Okay, here we are. Now, yes, I have featured this on the show before. I mistakenly called it an X8. This is actually the X6, and I have featured the X6 because can't even speak now. I have featured the X6 before on the show. So yes, it's still got the individual buttons for the D-pad, so it's not really a D-pad, it's 4 different buttons, and we've got the same over here. But to be fair, they are fairly nice to press. Yep, we still got the volume down, volume up, start and select here, and we got the thumbstick here, which is a digital thumbstick. It looks analog, but it's not. On the top, we got the shoulder buttons, and yeah, this isn't put together very well, is it? I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's kind of bulging out there where it hasn't been put together very well. Maybe we can push that in. Maybe not. Anyway, we've got the USB in there. What's this? This one is the headphone socket and a TV out socket and the power hold switch here. Okay, or the power on and off switch, I should say. And at the very bottom, we've got a micro USB slot to load ROMs from micro USB. Although you can load ROMs directly onto the machine using the supplied USB cable. On the back, we've got a pretty nasty camera. We'll take a look at that later on. And one speaker over here. This side has no speaker at all. Alright, let's switch it on and see what it looks like. Here we go. No battery power. Oh, well, the LED's lit up. Oh, here we go. That was nice. So first of all, let's check out the screen quality. Yeah, as you can see, it does fade pretty badly on the angles. Well, it's not too bad. It's a typical screen, to be honest. Now, it looks like it's a touchscreen interface, but in fact, it's not a touchscreen screen. So, you've got to use the controllers here. So what I'll do is I'll switch over the camera lens and we'll take a closer look. There we are, that's much better now. We're nice and close to the screen. Unfortunately, there may be some artifacts on the screen. They are not visible with the naked eye. It's just what happens when you point a camera at this type of screen. It kind of picks out all the little more effects. As you can see, when I tilt the machine from side to side, they may be moving. Alright, so let's take a look at this thing in action. How good is it? Well, first of all, when we first start up the machine, you can see we've got some games here. Unfortunately, you can not touch them, but you can select the games from the menu. So we just press the button here, and we should go straight into Metal Slug. Licensed by Nintendo, so it's not the Neo Geo version. This must be the Game Boy Advance version of Metal Slug. Yes, it is. Okay, all seems good so far. Let's see how does it play. Seems to scroll fairly good, but I think there might be some missing frames here and there. Okay, let's take a look at the emulation options. So we can save games, so of course it does game states. And we can load the game state there. Settings, what do we have here? Okay, sound output, on or off. Alright, well, we'll leave it on. Keyboard mapping, I basically believe that's mapping the keys. So we'll keep them as default. Screen size, scaled, so it will fill up the actual screen. Full screen, so it's going to stretch it, or original size, which I guess in a Game Boy Advance game's case, it's probably going to shrink it down a bit because this screen might be higher resolution than the Game Boy Advance. Let's take a look. We'll put it on original size and see what happens. Yeah, as you can clearly see, the screen is now a lot smaller than it was. So that is the original resolution of the Game Boy Advance screen. Okay. And if we go back to the settings and we change the screen size to full screen, it's going to stretch it out. So I think the best option is scale. So it keeps the aspect ratio correct, but actually fills it up in a horizontal manner. Let's just check that out. Yeah, that's much nicer. So you can see now we've got the borders on the side. Whereas before, when it was stretched, it filled up the whole screen, but the aspect ratio was wrong. Yeah, that looks much nicer now. So what we'll do is we'll keep it on scaled for all games. Now Capcom's CPS games are stretched anyway. Their native resolution is actually kind of weird. It's more like widescreen. So even if you put native resolution, they're still going to look stretched. Just when you plug them into a monitor, that's when they start to look correct. But yeah, this seems to be emulating fairly well. Okay, we can see on this game that the scrolling is not perfect. It's definitely dropping frames. We can see that. But it's not too bad. It's still fairly playable. Let's try this little D-pad thing down here. See how that works. Yeah, that little D-pad works fairly well. Not that you can see it on the camera. Let's just move it across a bit. Yeah, the speed is inconsistent, you can tell straight away. Alright, let's get a coin in. Do a move. Oh yes, we can. This little D-pad thing's not bad actually. See if I do lightning tackle. Oops. Well, I'm dead. Okay, there seem to be some speed inconsistencies there with that game. Let's just try out another Neo Geo game just to see if it was a one-off. I do really like the way you can choose the aspect ratio on the screen. It does make a big difference instead of having everything stretched out of proportion. Oops. Seems to be running at the correct speed. The frame rate's not bad. It's definitely skipping frames, but yeah, it's playable. Yeah, not too bad actually. Not perfect, but not terrible either. Sound seems okay as well. All right. Okay, let's see what other type of systems this thing can play. Yeah, seems to run fairly well to me. There's a little bit of frame judder there, but again, not too bad. And it sounds perfectly fine. Controls are not bad either. Controls feel, I mean, reasonably responsive. Yeah, I'd be quite happy playing that, to be honest. I mean, it's not as good as a real Game Boy Advance, but, you know, for something that's fairly cheap, can't complain too much. Alright, let's take a look at another format. So SD card is installed. Let's take a look and see what games we've got. Probably the easiest way to access them is to use the browser. Okay, card directory. Games. Alright, so first we're going to try off Neo Geo SD card format. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, then we're going to try a Nintendo 64 formatted game. Nope, doesn't like that. Alright, Game Boy game. It's opening it. Let's see if it plays it. Yes, it does. Lovely. Now, it's all stretched. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the options and change it to scale mode. Screen size. Scale. And now we should get a nice square image in the middle of the screen. Fingers crossed. Much better. Okay, let's see. How good is the emulation? Pretty cool. Let's use this little analog stick thing here. Nice. It seems to work Game Boy ROMs fairly well. I like the way the colours are, you know, just the grey shade instead of using some funky looking colour. Although if you look at it on an angle, you might be able to get it look yellower. Yep. Okay, Game Boy, not bad. Okay, let's see if we can run another format. Game Boy Color games. Fingers crossed this works. It's actually black and white. I thought R-Type 2 was a Game Boy Color game. Well, Game Boy Color or not, it works. And it works well. Okay, let's try out another format. Game Gear. Nope. Why is it coming? Yeah, it doesn't like Game Gear. Let's try this Game Gear title. No, it doesn't like Game Gear. Alright, this is a Neo Geo formatted game. Let's see if it plays it. This is an arcade style format. No, it doesn't like that. So they have to be a Final Burn Alpha Neo Geo ROM to work. Okay, Mega Drive. Will it play Mega Drive? Loading. Yes, it plays Mega Drive. But how good is the audio? Let's listen. Doesn't seem to emulate that intro well, does it? But this is a beta version. Well, it sounds okay. Now, the intro was messed up, but that might be because this is, as I said, the beta version of the ROM. Let's try the actual game section. I'm going to play this through the camera's viewfinder. Seems to be working perfectly fine, and the sound is correct. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sound. Okay, let's try one more Mega Drive game just to make sure that one isn't a fluke. Now that one is in valid file format. It doesn't like the MD format. Let's see, this Battlemania format is probably a bin format. Let's see. Yeah, it's bin. Okay, so it doesn't like the MD format for Mega Drive games. Okay, let's try this one. I think this is this is also MD format. No, it doesn't like the MD formatted games. Alright, Mass System. Doesn't like them either. No, it doesn't play Mass System games. Okay, PC Engine. Nope. No, it doesn't play PC Engine. Okay, Super Famicom or SNES. Looks like it will play those. Now, normally SNES emulation has really bad speed issues, so let's see how this works. Nope, that seems to be working just fine. Sounds good. Plays good. Okay, let's try another Super Famicom game just to make sure. Okay, Ghost Chaser. Now this game uses a very weird sound engine, so I wonder if it's going to sound okay. Sounds okay so far. Okay, that's actually running a bit slow. And I can't find the punch button. Oh, there it is. Okay, well it works, but it's a bit slow. So it would seem that Super Nintendo or Super Famicom emulation is a bit hit and miss. Let's take a look at the actual camera on this to see if the camera system is any good. So another new camera angle here, and we're going to check out the camera on this thing. Now as you can see, filming it with the real camera, you can see that it picks up the image perfectly fine, as to be expected because it's a 4K Panasonic Lumix camera. But how good is this thing going to take a picture? Well, we're not going to expect perfect quality, but hopefully it will be reasonable. Now, as you can see, let me just see if I can focus in on the screen. Okay, now we should be focused in on the screen here. Let me just put that into manual focus mode. Okay, make sure we've got a good focus on the screen. Yeah, that seems to be focusing on the screen as good as we're going to get. Now, what you will notice is that the actual item which I'm taking a picture of is out of focus. Doesn't matter how close we get or how far away we get, it is out of focus. The camera does not seem to want to focus on anything. And it doesn't matter how close you are or how far away, it just will not focus in on the item. So the camera is not very good. Let's put this back into autofocus. Alright. So let me show you what type of images this thing produces. So that is me trying to take a picture of the camera with its LED lights on, and as you can see, it doesn't work at all. So even if I take a picture of the camera without the LED light on, you can see that it's not very nice. And here's a picture of the Mega Drive game which I tried to take. As you can see, not very good at all. Now as you can see, the camera does have quite a few options which we can choose from. But unfortunately, no matter what option you choose, it doesn't seem to make any difference to the image quality. Except when you turn it black and white or sepia, that is. None of the other options seem to work. And as you can clearly see, this CD here is actually not that far behind the camera, but I can't even get it in frame. I have to move it really far back before it actually becomes in frame. It's terrible. So it seems to be stuck on some sort of zoom as well. And what makes it even worse is you can zoom in the image using the L button here. Hang on, let me just take off these options here. And we should be able to see the image zoom. Yep, see? So unfortunately the camera does suck. Quite a shame. So there we have it. That is the updated version of the X6. The original X6, which I reviewed a while back, didn't really do anything very well. The menus were extremely laggy on it. It didn't play games very well at all. This thing seems to play Capcom CPS1 games reasonably well. Neo Geo games, not so bad. It plays Game Boy Advance games fairly well, NES games, Mega Drive games, and Game Boy games fairly well also. Unfortunately, the Super Nintendo games don't seem to run very well on it. They seem to either be a little bit too slow or maybe okay. Depends on the game, really. But yeah, considering this thing is extremely cheap, I don't think you could complain too much about the quality of it. It does what it does fairly well for the price at what you're paying. Unfortunately, we can't show you the TV out because ours didn't come with any TV out cables. But I can imagine it's going to be the typical composite affair, nothing too special. But anyway, I'll have some affiliated links in the description down below. So if you're after an X6, click on the links and you'll be doing the channel a favor by buying one via the link. Okay, next time we're going to be taking a look at some more Chinese, made in China items, I should say. We have the X12. Oh yeah. That's the X6's Big Daddy. So we're going to be taking a look at that. And what else have I got down here? I've got something else down here. Where have it gone? Here it is. We've got this very strange looking Game Boy item. Probably a NES on a chip. I haven't even powered this up. But we'll see what that is as well. But until next time, keep on gaming and enjoy your games.